The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Salem Media of Hawaii.
Welcome to Generations Radio, where the focus is on our seniors and their families. We are here each Saturday afternoon from 5 until 6 p.m., bringing you resourceful information with our radio team of professionals in the field of aging. Stay with us for the next 1 hour as we explore different ways to make life more exciting and meaningful for our extraordinary seniors. Right here on AM 690 The Answer. And now, here is our host and the publisher of Generations Magazine, Percy Ihara.
Welcome back to Generations Radio. Of course, I'm Percy Ihara, here every Saturday from 5 to 6 and Sundays from 3 to 4. So thank you all as well for going to our website and listening to all our past shows. As you guys know, after we air, in about 2 weeks, this show will be put on our website. We actually go through YouTube. So we have a Generations Magazine YouTube channel where you can listen to all our past shows. So let's look at a topic that you like or interested in, and you can replay it at your own convenience on your own computer. So that's been working very, very well. And, you know, as a resource magazine, our website is growing as well. Our average viewer to our website reads 13 to 17 pages per visit on average. Yeah, wow. When I first saw these numbers, I said, wow. I was like, wow, I guess we really are growing. And as you know, our website houses all our aging in place past videos of the presentations. All the past issues from our very first issue with Kirk Matthews in October of 2010. And it's hard to believe we're celebrating 5 years. So thank you all for who's listening to our show, reads our magazine, and goes on our website. So thank you very much. And our February-March issue will be coming out in the first week of February. And it will feature 3 of the movers and shakers in the Alzheimer's business. Dr. Corey Liao, Hawaii's leading physician that deals with Alzheimer's. And he has a new clinic at Liliha at the St. Francis camp over there. He's right in front. It's called Hawaii Pacific Neuroscience Center, and he's one of the, I believe, 7 sites in the nation that has been selected to do clinical trials because we're trying to find a cure for Alzheimer's, and we do not have one yet. So look for him. And also on the cover will be Christine Payne, our state director for Alzheimer's at the Alzheimer's Association, and Chris Ridley, who is a nurse and I believe works over at Hilo in the Life Care Center, but also is the Big Island Alzheimer's representative. So they do a lot of work in the Big Island. And, of course, thanks to KTA, who distributes all our magazines there on the Big Island. So, anyway, we're talking today with Miss Nancy Schnur. And, Nancy, you're an interior designer. And so give us a little bit of background about what you do and what we're going to be talking about today.
Okay. As a professional interior designer, we're trained and we have education, experience under other professional designers, and there is testing for codes and, load capacity, things like that, movement through buildings, so that interior designers who work in public places such as senior care facilities and that, we have to have certain testing to be able to do interiors. So I have been through all of that, but as a business owner, I have focused on universal design, which we'll talk about.
And universal design means in the home.
Yes. It can apply to anywhere, but I focus on it in the home.
So how many years have you been an interior designer now?
Oh, gosh, I've been an interior designer for about 10, 12 years now. But I've been in the design industry in different areas, retail, that kind of thing.
I know, and you used to work at the Bucks store.
At Bucks, yes. We were just reminiscing. That was fun.
Wow.
Bucks, Lanai Sportswear.
Yeah,
or something
Mike
like
Buck,
that.
You know, he's the man here at AM 690 on weekdays. And I met him several years ago and found out about his parents. It was his parents' store.
Yes, I believe so, because I remember one time they would say the only thing you don't want to have is the old man call you up to his office.
Oh, Mr.
And
Buck.
I thought, yes, okay. And one day they said, oh, Mr. Buck's on the phone. And I thought, that's it. And he called to say he loved the windows. Because I was doing window displays then.
Wow.
And he said, I just wanted to tell you that they all look wonderful. And I thought, ooh, I guess he's not such a bad person after all. But it was fun. We're
going to have you come out to our Aging in Place event again on this year. In 2016 is our 10th anniversary of the Aging in Place workshops. And mark your calendars, it's August 20th. It's a Saturday at the Alamana Hotel. Because as our Aging in Place workshops, we need to talk about these kind of issues. Isn't it a big issue, though, for as you get older? I was talking to somebody about the baby boomers. They said, well, when do we call when do we call ourselves a senior? And this person, she was a baby boomer. I said, well, it's up to you, really. But from my experience, I'm 55. My experience, when I see people over 70, they would finally realize, okay, I'm a senior. But baby boomers, they're 67, 68, 69. No, they're not seniors.
No,
Yeah.
no. I have a client that I've just started working with, and we're working on a home he purchased for his parents.
Oh, really?
And he wants it set for them, and they keep saying, we're not old. And finally he said, Dad, you're 80.
Well, that's not old. My dad's 87.
Well, mine just turned 90, so I know what you mean. But
Wow.
they think he's wasting his time. They don't need any assistive devices.
So, but who's designing it? The son, or who hired the son?
The
or the
son
father?
hired me. The son hired
Does
me.
he live
Yes,
with the
there were.
parent?
Yes, and he wants to do this for them so that they're comfortable as they age. And I told him that was a very smart idea. And
So, what did the father say?
oh,
Get out of here?
they're no. They're good with it. They're
Really?
good with it.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was kind of ironic to hear him say, "Well, we're not old."
But it's very true. But as we talk about you being a professional designer. What do we call the 3 E's you were mentioning?
Right. That's education, experience, and examination. And that's it's kind of what separates design from decoration, because we do interior decorating as well. That's a very big part of my job. But when it comes to certain parts of the design world, you really need the education and the examination. Like I said, there's codes in this office right here. When I look around, this wall covering has to be a type 2 vinyl so that there's fire resistance to it. There's certain soundproofing that has to go on between floors. Those are all numbers and codes that interior designers can work on. If it's not structural and it's on the interior, if you have the background, you are able to work on it and specify things. Carpeting, it has to have a certain level of wear on it for public spaces.
So for houses, people just hire a contractor.
Well, yes, they can. They can, and they do, and they need one. The reason I come on now with residential, it is different. There are not as many codes. There certainly are building codes. We've got those, and we need to know those. We can't, tear down a firewall, and we can't just plug in extra switches to an existing switch. So that type of thing. But in residential, there's other things that we're more free to do, and when contractors go in, they know how to do the electrical and the plumbing, and they can set the materials in that. But generally, and this isn't all of them, so I don't want to rule anybody out, but generally the contractor, when it comes to the light fixtures, the countertops, the flooring, they'll put in an allowance and then tell the client, go shop and pick what you want. And it's overwhelming now with all the DIY shows.
Oh, yeah.
And, everybody's a design center now, and it's really overwhelming.
It is. I just went through a renovation on my house last year, 6 months ago. And it's amazing. I went to like 5 different stores, and it's great to go to 5 different stores and see all the 5 different things they do, but it's very confusing.
It is.
Then you have to decide which one's better than the other. Do you
That's
always go
right.
cheap, or you want functional? So I bought these really nice hanging lights. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. But man, they're a pain in the butt to take care of.
That's right.
One already went out. One light went out.
Really?
It was those fancy ones.
Ones with the little pin?
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you call
Yes.
those?
Those bipin, they're halogen. The halogen bipin is some of them, and then there's also I'm
LED.
drawing a blank. Well, there's LED, but that shouldn't go out. LED should outlive you.
Right, but he was talking about the ballast. Or something
Xenon,
like that.
that's the other one.
But
the ballast went out.
Something that there's no life expectancy. So it could be 1 year, 10 years. I don't know, something to do with the plug. I mean, I know we're going off topic.
Yeah.
It is amazing. So how
it is?
So you go by what the user, the senior may need, or
right.
or
I go
how
by
they are, or
right. I on my website and on my I have a house profile. We can talk about that later too. But I work for the client. And so really were trained to really program the end user and, how they live. Do they eat in front of the television? Do they wash their floors once a year? Are they sweeping it every day? Kind of a thing. Do they take their shoes off outside? Do they leave lights on all the time? There's so many things you really get to know the people. But the reason or the purpose is that then we can say, okay, this type of countertop would be better for you. You're going to pay a little more, but because you don't want to do this type of cleaning or that type of sealing, it will benefit you in the end. And in my area, I work more closely on, is it going to be slip resistant? Is it going to have reflection? Because as we age, our eyes, we see things more yellow as our eyes age, and glare is harder on us. So you can get a really nice, durable, safe countertop and put those really pretty pendants in, and then the glare reflecting back can be very troublesome when you're older and trying to see what you're doing at the counter. So there's like 4 levels of lighting that you want going on in a room as you age but I'm talking aging from 8 years old to 98 because it changes all throughout life.
So what is aging in place? What's the relation to that in universal design?
Yeah, thanks. Aging in place is what everybody knows right now. It's been out there for a while, but you hear it a lot more now.
I've been using that for 12 years.
Well, see, you're one of the first.
Our workshop this year in 2016 will be our 10th year doing the workshop.
Wow.
It's the largest one.
But think about the increase, because when it started, nobody believed it, I don't think.
Well, age in place, okay, but they don't realize what it takes to age in place.
That's right. That's right. And so what they do primarily is they wait until they fall and need a walker and then go, what can you do really quick because I keep tripping over this carpet, or all of a sudden I can't get in the front door, and can you help me? Or I've lost my balance, I can't get in and out of the tub, can you convert it to a shower? And so all of these things are kind of reactive.
Yeah.
And what universal design is more preemptive, and it applies to all areas of the home, and it actually benefits all generations. And here in Hawaii, where we are so heavy into multi-generational homes, they don't realize if you do it now, the children benefit better. It still looks great, but then as you age, you're not racing around at the last minute trying to fix those problems.
Yeah. And with falls now, I'm very involved in falls. You might want to get involved with our group here. It's in the state of Hawaii, our fall prevention state plan. And we're going to do a workshop later this year. So maybe I'll get you to speak. But, I speak around town quite a bit. We spoke this morning at Lanakita Senior Center. And 90% of people there are seniors. Or, 90% of the people there are women. And because the husband passed away.
Okay.
As you know, where most of falls happen? In the
bathroom.
There's a lot of hard surfaces around. Is that kind of a focus point for a lot of seniors, or is it the kitchen? Or
it's the bathroom. The bathroom is first, and that's usually the first one that they fix at the end. But that one has, I think, some of the most complicated issues in it. And so a lot of times they'll just put up some grab bars and, maybe really ugly grab.
just block it against the wall.
We like to call them balance bars.
Yeah.
That way we can explain to them, if you balance yourself on it now, you won't have to grab onto it as you're falling to the stone floor later on. But, there's they've come out with so many things now, and they have curbless. You can do a curbless shower, which is really hard for people to grasp.
Curbless. What's a curbless?
It's when it's a smooth roll-in is another term.
Okay.
Where the bathroom floor, where it meets the shower floor, is the same height. And then it slopes down. Mm-hmm. And people, they're very taken back by that, and they're not comfortable. They're sure it's not going to work. And I just got a call from a client today. We just finished one. Beautiful pebble shower floor, no curb. The drain is a skinny drain. It's called a linear or trench drain all along the back. And she said, well, I had 2 nieces in their 20s going to the beach every day, coming home. And she said they don't ever want to get out of that shower. So it can be done. It just takes a little extra effort and a little extra money. I'll be honest, because you have to chip away at the concrete. Right. But if it's done right, then you're set. Nobody's stepping over anything.
That's why they call universal design. It fits everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Do they have a curtain with that, or no?
You can, but you don't have to. You don't have to. It depends on the space that you have. Curtains are for splatter while you're washing. Mm-hmm. And any shower, I don't care how big your curb is, the water's going to splash out. So if that bothers you, if there's things right outside the shower that simply shouldn't get wet, then you can still put a curtain. I have one client that really isn't comfortable without a curtain. That's fine. But she's in a wheelchair all the time. And
wheelchairs can go and get wet like that?
Yes, she has a specific one. She has an outdoor, an indoor, a shower
wheelchair.
Chair. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Never thought about that.
Yeah, we redid her whole kitchen too.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in the bathroom, people complain about the toilet. Now, is there a certain height people want to have that at, or is it adjustable, or how does that work?
It's not adjustable, although that would be a really great idea.
I just thought about it just now.
Yeah, I kind of like. Yeah, let's talk later. We'll see what we can do.
Let's design something.
Yes, there is a thing now that I think some people are familiar with. It's called comfort height. And at first it was one of those, we've really got to look for it to find it. But now almost every name brand in toilet manufacturers have comfort height. And that means it's closer to the height of a regular chair, 17, 18 inches high. And some people, when they first sit on it, it feels strange because they're used to those low, for a number of years, those low boy toilets.
What's the height of it?
Usually about 16.
Average toilet?
Yeah, they used to be. They used to even go, they're low. But you get down there and you've got, your legs aren't functioning well. It's like,
so you want a higher one.
You want it higher so you can get up more easily. And actually, that also is true of furniture. And that's another area of universal design that people don't think about.
I saw that. Like, what do you mean by furniture?
Furniture. With seniors, okay, so here we are focusing on the senior. Mm-hmm. It is difficult for them to get out of the chair if there isn't a firm arm that has a minimum width to it and isn't slippery to press down on. And if the arm isn't firm enough, they can break it or their hand can slip off. But they need a firm cushion, and they need that at least 18 high, and it makes it easier for them to get in and out. So
never thought about that.
Yeah, I work with furniture manufacturers so that I can select current designs, but then he sizes the seat height and the arm height so that we have that. And we also pay attention to fabrics. There are a lot of beautiful fabrics that are commercial quality. So whether it's kids, pets, elderly, whatever, spills and things will clean up beautifully and last a little longer, but they still look nice.
So you mentioned something that caught my ear about do people watch TV in front of the TV. Mm-hmm. So what do? If they find different furniture, or
we just try to accommodate that. That's just a great example that my teacher back in school said. The point is, you don't want the client to feel like they have to put on, I don't want to say put on airs, but, say, oh, yes, we, sit at the table and we do this because they don't want you to know their real life, because then you're going to design a house and it's not going to suit them. So that was always her example. If you eat in front of the TV, just admit it, and I won't allow space for this big dining table. So it's just kind of a reference to just letting us know what do you want to do in the end. And so one of my nicest compliments, a home, multi-generational home I did in Manoa, and they had a dinner for the contractor, the architect, and myself, and they said, before we used to look for reasons to go out, and now we look for reasons to stay home.
Cute.
Yeah.
Well, as you get older, you don't go out as much as anybody knows, but do you ever get to the point where you don't want them to eat in front of the TV?
Well, I don't really get it.
In the family?
Yeah, I don't really give advice that way. I do know that, another reason is if they're going to eat there, you want small tables and that spill-proof fabric. But one thing that is important in my design is giving them the ability to keep moving. So, no, I don't really care if they want to sit in front of the TV and eat, but I don't want them sitting all the time.
Yeah.
I want them moving around, so they have to get out of the chair easily. A lot of elders, such as my parents, they're 87 and 90. They still live alone. My brother and I help them out. But if one of them, especially my mother, because she does the cooking, if she were in a wheelchair, she would need to be able to access a few things for them at wheelchair height. So you want to make sure if, let's say your parents live with you and you're going off to work, you want maybe a microwave, a little bit of the utensils and plates and water and maybe some refrigerator drawers so that they can get around and access what they need. And they don't just sit there and wait to be served, because the movement is important.
Yeah, it's so true. And, like I said, we've been using these three words, simple words, aging in place, becomes more and more as baby boomers, and our parents are still alive. And we have to worry about our parents. Some of us live with our parents. Some of us don't have parents that don't want to live with us. But they, because, they don't want.
My parents don't. They said.
Yeah, I have a lot of clients that, no way,
No.
But it's so important. How do you, let's say your parents need some help. Maybe they're having issues with the kitchen or the bathroom. How do you get them to talk about that? You ever get involved with that, or?
Not. A little bit with clients. A lot of it is just being sensitive and your approach. I think they're comfortable when I come in as an outsider, more so than maybe my own parents. But I usually just try to be sensitive to say, hey, I know, it's a little harder to do this, but if you still like to do it, let's just make it so that it stays easy for a while. That is what we're talking about. But, like if this one client I had in a wheelchair that I have still, she didn't go outside after the house was remodeled because the ramps weren't quite right. And she loved gardening. And the more I got to know her, I thought, oh my gosh, so we've got to get you gardening again.
So
she gave it up. So we built a covered lanai. We took out the existing sliding door and put in the recessed. So there isn't the big the big threshold. At some sliding doors, they can get 2-3 inches high.
Right.
So we put in a lower one so she could wheel over it, and now she's got this beautiful covered lanai, and she's going outside for the first time in over a year.
Wow.
And it's just it was no, particular reason why that happened. It was just not thought out in advance that said, what do you like to do outside so we can make sure.
Well, you find a solution for them then.
I do.
Are there common issues that you see out there besides the bathroom or the tub or the kitchen? Do you see any common problems or issues or that you see that are easy fixes, like your situation with the recess,
with
the sliding door?
Beyond those, I think the other thing would be lighting. A lot of people don't realize. I think you live with something for a while, and we don't notice. I mean, I look in the mirror still and think, "Wow, that's me." I'm not 22 anymore. And it's the same with your eyes or your hearing.
I still think I'm 30.
See, yeah, I know. But I think sometimes because it happens gradually, we don't notice it, or we don't want to, and but things start to get harder to see. And we used to walk down the hall all the time, and when we get up in the middle of the night, we knew where things were. But later on, not so easily. And so sometimes I'll find if you just, put some recessed lights in or something on a dimmer and just keep it low so you can see where you're going. And those are some other fixes.
I just put an LED light in my kitchen. And, when I went to the store, I looked at the lights. Yeah, they're pretty bright. Because the old light I had wasn't bright enough, so I want to get something brighter. And I looked at this lights, regular lighting, and an LED, and the light guy goes, I said, shouldn't the LED light be brighter? He goes, it is, but just in the store it doesn't seem bright. When I took it home, wow, I was shocked how bright the LED light was. Are LED bulbs brighter? The way they give off the light?
It's probably the way they give off the light. And with LEDs, just like we had with the incandescent, they're starting to get more evolved, I guess, or more elaborate. You have to pick different color index renderings, the CRI, and that can make a difference because they used to all be real cool. They were a very blue, clear light, and it was actually hard on the eyes. So as wonderful as it was for efficiency, and they didn't dim well. And you
have to buy a special dimmer, though.
You do.
But don't you?
There really are no easy fixes,
But don't you have to buy dimmable lights too, though?
Yes, dimmable lights.
I did not know that.
Yes,
I had a dimmer. If I changed my light out, I didn't realize you got to have a light bulb that dims.
Yes, the light bulb, and if it's a three-way
light
switch,
go on or off.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
Yes, not all of the fluorescents dimmed for a long time either. So we were saving, but at the same time we weren't because we couldn't dim our lights anymore. Everything was just
I just
on.
renovated my house. I didn't know you had to have dimmable
and if
switches.
It's a three-way switch, it's yet a different type of dimmer. So all these little nuances you have to
So when you go
start.
in, do you work with contractors or the contractor?
All the time. Okay. All the time. Right. Yes, I do.
Okay, we're here with Nancy Schnur, Universal Interiors. So really quick, we'll give it at the end of the show as well, but how do we contact you?
Oh, I have a website at www.universalinteriorsllc.com. Good. And my business number is 808-348-1220.
Okay. We'll be right back at this message, and we're going to talk more about interior design in Universal Interiors with Nancy Schnur. We'll be right back.
We will be right back with Percy Ihara from Generations Radio. If you have any questions or want to be part of our discussion, give us a call at 296-5467. That's 296-5467. This is Generations Radio on AM 690 The Answer.
Moon Physical Therapy is here to help you back to recovery. Moon Physical Therapy is located on Ward Avenue across from Sports Authority. Physician prescribed for motor vehicle accidents, workman's comp, or that body pain that comes from rushing to play without warming up. Also event cardiopulmonary rehabilitation with our one-on-one patient care. Moon's Aquatherapy heated endless pool allows for low-impact exercise with less pain on land. We will give you the right exercises to get you back to health. Ask your doctor to prescribe Moon Physical Therapy. Moon Physical Therapy. We achieve results.
Aloha, this is Martha Clopin.
And Al Harrington.
Choosing the right Medicare plan not only saves you money, it also helps you avoid headaches and heartaches down the road.
We want to remind everyone
to listen to a Medicare Moment with Martha, Sundays from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. as we help answer important questions on Medicare so you can stay healthy, wealthy, and wise all year long.
Call me at 543-2073, 543-2073.
I was an addict from the age of 13. I finally decided it was time for a change. I walked into the Salvation Army Adult Rehabilitation Center, and that got me ready for the real world. Now, I choose to be guided by Jesus Christ, and today, I'm building a powerful and promising future, free from drugs and alcohol.
Please shop at the Salvation Army family stores. With our discounted sales, your support through your purchase helps men live a clean, sober, and productive life.
Got Vegas on your mind? Get Vacations Hawaii on the line. Vacations Hawaii offers weekly 4 and 5 night Honolulu to Vegas packages, which include 3 meals daily from $6.99. Stay at Hawaii's favorite casinos: California, Fremont, Main Street Station, and Orleans Hotel. Vacations Hawaii will get you there in comfort on deluxe wide-body 767 planes with complimentary in-flight hot meal service. Vacations Hawaii's frequent flyer program gives you future travel discounts and credits. So if you're ready to win big, call Vacations Hawaii at 591-4777 or visit pointVacationsHawaii.com.
Today, more than ever, we local people are living longer than any other state in the Union, with more seniors, baby boomers, and caregivers. Generations Radio promotes the importance to be proactive as we all age. The radio team will focus on issues facing our seniors and their families, finding resources to navigate healthy aging along with financial, legal, and caregiving information. So join Percy E. Howard from 5 until 6 each Saturday, right here on AM 690 The Answer. Focusing on the issues facing our seniors and their families today. Here's our Generations Radio host, Percy Ihara.
Welcome back to the show. This is Percy here every Saturday and Sunday. And as you guys know, go on to our website, generations808.com, and you can read all our past issues. And go on the top right, the search bar, and just plug in like Social Security or aging in place or Medicare or legal, financial. You'll get that. All the articles in that area pop up there. We're here with Nancy Schnur. But Nancy, I did want to tell you, you are coming in a magazine. You're going to be one of our partners, right?
Yes.
Are you February, March?
I am.
Yeah, our February, March issue will be coming out very shortly, and it's going to feature Alzheimer's. 3 of our leaders here in Hawaii: Christine Payne, who is head of the Alzheimer's Association chapter here. We also have Chris Ridley, who represents the Big Island in Alzheimer's, but also works over at the Life Care Center there in Hilo. And lastly is Dr. Corey Liao, one of our leading physicians in the area of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, who has a new facility out at St. Francis Hospital campus. And if your parents have Alzheimer's, or if you think you have Alzheimer's, they're doing clinical trials. One of 7 sites in the nation. He'll be talking about Alzheimer's and dealing with caregiving and families, and he does a great work over there. And if you need more information, those 3 people coming out in the February issue will be able to help you, because unusual figure. Well, it's a figure that I couldn't believe, is 65 to 70% of people are not diagnosed in Hawaii.
Wow, that's huge.
That's huge.
Yeah.
The number of people in Hawaii that are diagnosed are going to double in the next 5 to 10 years.
Well, that's interesting. Actually, I attended a seminar at Environments for the Aging Conference. It goes on every year. It's in the spring, and it moves around the country. And a colleague of mine and I went there a couple years ago and did a presentation. But in attending them, there were some on how interior design can affect Alzheimer's patients.
And how does it?
And if you don't want strong contrast, that's the one I remember the most, was if you put a big picture window in so that you get a lot of daylight, but then you have strong sun at one point and it's real bright and it's dark around, or vice versa. There's something in the Alzheimer's patient that they think it's like a hole in the ground, or there's something wrong, and they feel they need to walk around it. Switching from dark to light room really fast can scare them and set them off. And there's certain colors and fabric patterns that could do the same.
I've heard that.
So, yes, it was really interesting. I think it's a little bit new in the industry because, I mean, look, there's so much we don't know medically about it. So, design is obviously going to be a little further down the road. But it's already being looked at when they build facilities for Alzheimer's patients.
But it's very true. I had a friend of mine that said her father got kicked out of 3 care homes and 1 adult day center because the father got upset quite a bit. He didn't get physical, but he got very upset. And he had early signs of Alzheimer's. I was talking to one of my doctor friends. I said, listen, anything can trigger the emotion, the reaction. And it could be lighting, it could be color, it could be food, it could be smell, a word or two that brought back some bad memories. But it was very interesting. So I'm happy to see you coming in.
Thank you.
That issue will be featuring a lot of things about the Alzheimer's disease and a lot about how to support you, because if you're dealing with Alzheimer's, it's a family disease. And every week on this island here on Oahu, and I'm sure the neighbor islands, there's a support group meeting somewhere every week. And so we'll be giving those resources out there at the time. But and then, of course, our Aging in Place event, August 20th. I know it's early, but mark your calendars early because this is our 10th year. And
great event.
2015, we had over 1,600 people. We definitely expect more people this year. And come June, I didn't tell you this earlier, but come June, we'll be doing some things over at the Catholic Charities and the Lanakila Senior Center.
Oh.
We just confirmed that yesterday. And coming in February, we have a new partnership with KITV. And we're going to be bringing out their Aging Well segment every Saturday morning.
Okay.
So we're going to have to get you on that show as well. Aging in Place, we started coining that, like I said, 11, 12 years ago, along with the other phrase, financial gerontology.
Now there's one I haven't heard.
Yeah. And I just kind of started doing this about 7 years ago, and somebody said, Percy, that's a really good term.
It is.
I said, it was a good term, but I never thought about it because financial advisors are slowly realizing their clients are getting older. So you might want to get you in front of them as well because they deal with people that have money or are losing money or using most of the money for care. But they need to be more proactive, like you said. We need to be more understand that it's going to happen. Unfortunately, I was telling my friend this morning, their mother is 90 years old, and said, unfortunately, it only gets worse.
That's right.
And we need to start planning ahead. Yeah.
And that's a common thing that I come across is when they wait until later, and the children who are my age, I'm older than you, by the way.
You look younger than me, though. Shucks.
Are taking care of their parents, and when the house can take it, the parents are living with them. The parents are in their 80s. They don't want to spend the money anymore. They say, I don't want to spend money on this. And the kids are like, but you need it. And the parents don't want to because they figure it's too late already, which goes back to my saying that you really want to start this when you're our age and maybe your kids have gone and you're ready to redo the house because it's been 30 years. Those are the people that I like to get talk to and market, because if they do it now, they're saving their kids that argument with the parents about, I'm 80, I don't want to spend $40,000 on my house. And usually the answer is, and you know this all too well, it's that, or you spend $40,000 a month staying in residential care. So
I hear that. I think people need to start thinking about that. And a lot of baby boomers have to deal with the parents. We're seeing more and more. And I know those of you that listen to the show now are baby boomers because we get the emails, we get the calls. So when it comes up, but we were talking earlier during the break about cost. People, I was saying, people always say it's so expensive, this and that. It's like, you know what? Can you put a dollar value on your quality of life?
That's true. Yeah. And I don't think you can. And you can't take it with you. And I don't think you're required to leave it with your kids, although we all love it when we get some, right? But, usually when I get the cost question, there's two approaches, two reasons why. One is, why should I buy the better product? Because they're not thinking through longevity, care, that type of thing. And when I discuss what we call life cycle assessment and how many times you may have to replace it, like a kitchen faucet, with the valve, something as simple as that, to flooring, you talk to them about, hey, you spend 10 now and 10 again and 10 again, or spend 15 now and don't think about it again. So, that's one way to walk them through when they get nervous about saying, oh, that's way too much. I tell people a bathroom's going to be minimum $20,000.
Oh, yeah.
And that's tough to do anymore. I'm really going to have to start saying 25. A few years ago it was 20, but it's getting up there.
Well, just to gut your bathroom, I did my bathroom just to take everything out of there. Took almost, I think it was half a day. You got to break the tile from your bathroom, your bathtub. The floor, you have to go all the way down to the subfloor.
That's right.
And if it's your older house like mine, is 70-something years old, we don't have any termite damage because we have red wood, but I mean, some of the boards have to be fixed underneath.
They do. And usually at that point, all of your rough-in plumbing needs to be redone, either for code or just because there's better quality products. Either way, all of that stuff. But, and I tell people, how much time do you spend in there? Think about it, I mean, they'll go out and buy, a really fancy car or something that, they'll drive around Kailua in. But, how many hours a day? Wouldn't you rather be a little more comfortable?
Yeah. Well, I did. I put a jacuzzi tub in my bathroom.
Oh, nice. I think...
Actually, my son uses it more than me. He makes a bubble bath. He's only 11. He loves to do a bubble bath.
There you go.
But, I play a lot of sports, so I'm in there at least once a week with my jacuzzi on, and my son probably 2 or 3 times a week.
Good.
But I tell people, if you enjoy jacuzzis, if you enjoy, like I had a bigger bath put in. Usually, what's the standard bathtub?
5 foot.
5 foot?
Yeah.
I think I put a 6 foot.
Probably. Most of the jacuzzis are. They start at 6.
The only problem, I had to move my wall. Yeah. Because the bathtub fit in so much, and so I had to extend my wall out. And I had to break up part of my closet on the other side.
Oh, this is sounding awfully familiar if one of my clients is listening. She's trying desperately to get a soaking tub in her bathroom. They had to gut their bathroom, I don't remember, I'm going to say 3 years ago, because of plumbing issues, and they never got back to doing it. So their master bathroom has been like... Cordoned off, yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Life gets in the way sometimes. And that's one of the value added to hiring an interior designer, I might add, is that lives are busy. And you start something and then you can't finish it. You can't follow up on it. You forget you price something and the next time you go back, it's gone. For a small percentage of the project, I keep it on track and I make sure everybody. I make sure it gets done. There you go. It gets done. But it's funny because we've got exactly 7 feet rough wall to rough wall, and the only way we can move it is to move her closet or plow through the CMU wall on the outside, and they really don't want to do that. And we've been just searching and searching, trying to find to squeeze a shower and a tub.
You got to relocate the shower or the sink or whatever, the plumbing.
Well, sinks are pretty easy to relocate, but toilets and showers are not. When you're in concrete, if you're above ground, a lot of the houses are what we call post and pier. You can get under there, but you got to bust out concrete, and we're already doing that a little bit. But it still wouldn't pay off the financial expense of trying to relocate the plumbing underground.
But so you mentioned a soaking tub. What's a soaking tub?
Basically, it's a deeper bathtub, doesn't have the jets, but it's not your standard. Sometimes it's not as long. Like the furrow type thing is what you would sit and soak in. You're sitting up somewhat. And you want the water higher because you just want to soak in it.
Oh, you don't want a jacuzzi?
Not this particular client.
Well, for those of you listening, if you want to put a jacuzzi in, you got to make sure you have... I had to bust through my wall, my outside wall, because you need to have the way the jacuzzi was, there's a side panel, and even the motor breaks.
Yes, you need to get at it.
You have to be able to get to that motor. So we had to go outside and cut a hole, and you have the electricity too.
Yes, something's got to run those jets.
So I didn't know. Oh, did you schedule your electrician to fix the wiring? What for? The jacuzzi has electricity. Oh.
Well, see there, Percy, your interior designer would have scheduled the electrician.
I hear you. Yeah, trying to coordinate this stuff. Oh my God.
Are you done with your bathroom?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, okay. Well,
I put in tile.
I'll tell you another little thing about electricity is whenever I do a bathroom, whether they ask for it or not now, I put an outlet down the wall, down behind the toilet, because the Toto, those washlet seats are really gaining popularity.
That's the one with the heated seat?
Oh, you can get it heated. You can get it makes your toilet of the day.
Tip.
I'll tell you what, it's just put the plug in. That's all you have to do, because that's
you need
one
to have
thing.
Electricity.
People say, no, I'm not going to use that. That's too weird. And then they go to Japan for some reason, or they stay at a hotel, and they come back and go, could you put one of those in mine? I'm like, okay, well, we have to rip your wall apart again.
I was at a house in Maui, a beautiful house in Maui on a vacation. And my friend said, well, yeah, just stay at my client's house. He's house sitting for her client. I go, sure, yeah. I spent the weekend there. And I've never been on a heated Japanese toilet. Wow. I mean, not TMI, but I was on it for like 45 minutes. I read the whole Sunday paper.
Okay, well, then I definitely can't get my husband one.
I'm looking at, I know my parents don't listen to the show, but I want to get my parents that.
Ah, good.
Oh, my God.
But again, something has to heat it. You need the plug.
Yeah.
And it's got to be right down behind. I think they may have changed it now, but originally it needed to be on the left when you're facing the toilet.
Yeah.
But a lot of times the water source is there, so I think they may have made the cord a little longer, because you can buy a washlet toilet, the entire system, or you can put a washlet seat on your existing toilet.
Right.
And that one you just kind of plug into the wall. And so just make sure it's waterproof.
But they're like, what, 5,000, 7,000?
Oh, I don't think the washlet seat is, no. Maybe
the whole system. The heated toilet and everything?
That could be. Yeah, that could be.
But that's worth it. I mean, you want to give your parents something that they won't buy themselves.
Yeah, that would be
or
it.
You want to improve their quality of life. Trust me. Yeah. I would. We're looking at doing it this coming year. Because they celebrate 65 years.
Nice.
My parents.
Nice. They are sweet.
And so we're looking at doing that. Just got to make sure that they're okay with it, because I want to do a surprise.
Well, I don't think it's going to be now, is it?
No. Oh, well, they don't listen to my radio show.
Oh, they don't listen.
They read my magazine. They read my magazine. As long as you don't tell them, because they're going to.
I won't tell them.
But no, seriously.
Oh, okay.
My parents have everything, so I try to find unique things.
And that is a unique one. Yeah, that's great.
So, in the kitchen, like I just renovated my kitchen. Are there some key things that you need to start thinking about for the kitchen? Like
there
lower
are
counters, or
it's always nice if you're remodeling your kitchen to have two counter heights, one the standard and then one lower. And that way it can service as eating. You can have a little section with chairs. We got really used to the bar top in kitchens and did away with the kitchen table. And that's great.
I did that.
Okay, well, and it's great, and we still do it. But when you're doing universal design, you have to remember not everybody can climb up the stool and off the stool, meaning your small grandchildren and your elderly parents. So we try to do a 30-inch countertop in some parts. And you can sometimes go to 32, but most wheelchair users need the most 30 inches. The most height for them to comfortably. But the other thing is they need to be able to roll under.
Right.
So one of the fix that I do or recommend to people is do a convertible cabinet. So if you have your kitchen sink, or if you don't use a full range, you have a cooktop, the cabinet below can have doors on it, and you can use it for space. But when I'm designing them, I'll put a false bottom in it. And that way down the road, you can take the doors off, take the bottom out, and have the flooring already under there, and then it becomes a roll-in for a kitchen sink.
That's cool. That's smart.
Yeah, and in the bathrooms. And that way, right now, you've still got the storage, and it looks normal. And you can even leave the doors on and only open them when the wheelchair user is at it if you want. But there should be at least one area.
At least one.
Just one small area in the kitchen, where you've got a lower countertop or at the very least that open space so they can get under something. And those refrigerator drawers are great too. If you don't use a wine captain, the wine coolers or the soda coolers, take it out and put in refrigerator drawers, because then they can easily access it without opening the big one. And
that's interesting.
That's nice.
Do you ever get involved with designing like the ramps, things like that?
I don't really design them. I help the contractor decide which entrance is best and the route they might take, but that is purely structural. And other than I know the ratio, 1 inch for every 12 inch for the slopes on things and the rail heights. Those are the kinds of things that are even in residential.
What do you mean by that? The 1 inch per 12?
A ramp, the slope can't be too steep, or the wheelchair has trouble. And if it's more, and I'm drawing from a long time ago here, they have to have at least a curb so the wheelchair can't accidentally roll off the side.
Okay.
And then depending on the distance it's going, you have to have a rail. And the rail has to extend 1 foot past the ramp before it goes down. So when your ramp ends, you've still got 1 foot of rail. All of these things are just things they've learned over the years through scientific study that will make it accessible. So for me, when the client needs it, I just make sure I'm working with a contractor that's done that before, knows the codes, follows the codes, and it
what about
becomes
lift
part of the
chairs and
project.
things like that?
I've not had to work with them. But they're here, and I know Access Lifts Hawaii has done they're big, and I've given their card out numerous times. It's just never come to that for any of the clients I've had.
I think you'll see more of that.
Yeah.
You ever design one with an elevator?
No, only in school. I wish I could, but no, only in school.
I think you're going to see more of that as well.
Yeah.
Like I said, my business is the reverse mortgage, and we're finding more and more people using that money to be able to make their house more age-friendly. But they want to stay at home. When I speak around town, 99% of people do not want to go to a care home.
No.
Or nursing facility, right?
No.
So when it comes to staying in a home, how do you make it functional, especially when you have multi-generational families? And how to make it easy for everybody to get along. Otherwise, this causes more stress and
it does, and that's one of the things I find when I talk to clients, and they'll say, "My parents, they just won't go for it. They this that," and one of the key results that you want from redesigning is to eliminate frustration. Yeah. Getting old is frustrating. It's not pretty business. And so if they can't do the things they used to do all the time, and it's only because it hasn't been modified, they can't operate the kitchen faucet because they're old levers and they don't work right, or they don't, the dishwasher's new and has got all these programs and they don't know.
I got one of those.
I took out an $8,000 Gagano oven in that client's house because all she wanted was the side hinge so she could bake, and the only one they could find was this Gagano, and it's all computerized, and she said, "I just want to bake cookies." So we traded it out for something. But there you go. That's frustration. Things like that. If you eliminate that kind of frustration, then I think they ease up and their life is a little more pleasant. And
like I said, how do you put a dollar value on people's quality of life?
Yeah.
It's so much, I think once you get it done, then they're going to realize that. But before that happens, they think their contractor knows everything, but they don't.
No. I have a lot of respect for contractors, but I know how stuff is supposed to be built, but I don't build it. They may know what good design looks like, but they're not designers. And when you find the right match, it's wonderful.
So one tip really quickly before we end the show, and you can give us your phone number and email again. Nancy Schnur, what's the one tip?
Take out carpet. To get rid of the carpet, especially if it's a pile and has padding. I know that you think when you fall it's going to be softer, but you're probably going to fall because of the carpet. So take it out, put in a smooth surface flooring that's not too slippery. The great one out there now is plank vinyl flooring. It's a wonderful product. And then if you need some warmth, get an area rug.
And how do we get a hold of you, Nancy?
My website is www.universalinteriorsllc.com, and my business phone is 808-348-1220.
And in our February issue, you're going to be seeing Nancy in our Generations magazine. So thank you so much, Nancy. Listen, great great show, and then we're going to have to get you out on one of our workshops very, very soon.
Thank you.
Nancy Schnur.
Appreciate
Thank you very much. Okay, everybody, thanks. We'll see you next week. Aloha, and live well.